So, can you tell me a little bit about yourself and your background? Is this your first pub landlord licence?
Absolutely, yes. So this is my first foray into the world of doing a pub. It's been absolutely fantastic. Before this, I was heavily involved in the music industry. When I was younger, I had a record deal and travelled all over the world and played music with some fantastic people. And then I went into some small businesses with some friends and worked in a kind of sales kind of background, just to take a bit of a break, which was great. But this is my first license, and yeah, it's been fantastic.
Great. It's a little bit less hectic than it was before.
A little bit, no, not less hectic, definitely not less hectic, but very, very enjoyable and extremely rewarding. It's I think, like anything, it's as much as you put into stuff, you get out of. And a business like this and a pub like this, especially in a community like in Lyme Regis, the more that you get involved and the more you put yourself out there, 100% you see that in return. It's fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. What does running Palmer's Pub mean for you?
Good question. I think for me, the Palmer's brand is synonymous with fantastic beers. Something that was definitely a drawing factor was how much goes into the process that gives you the Palmer's ales that have become loved so much. So I think for me, it's making sure that I represent those products well, and also I put my own spin on a traditional and well-loved brand. I think the combination of the two factors, you've got an established brewery, which is just down the road for me, which is great. So I'm very, very tight with working with the guys at the brewery, and I think it's about giving a good platform to sell those products and make them flourish, and also put my own spin and my own personality onto the Palmer's brand. So very much, what's the word, synergy.
Lovely.
The nice synergy between me and between Palmer's, and I think actually it's the combination has been fantastic.
Yeah, perfect. How have you found the first year running your own business with Palmer's?
First year has been brilliant. It has been absolutely brilliant. I've loved every moment of it. There's challenges, but I think you're in the situation where you've got so much support that the challenges are good challenges, because there's always a solution, and I think that's what it's been. There's every day you wake up, you've got a new challenge, or you've got something new that's exciting that you can put your energy into. And if things get difficult, or if you need to find, you might have a problem, there is always a solution, which you can come to by yourself with your team, or you can just get on the phone and you can call the guys at the brewery, and between you guys you'll find out, and it'll be smooth sailing. It's been a lot of fun, and it's been extremely rewarding. So yeah, my first year has been exactly what I'd hoped.
Oh, fantastic. And you think that the Palmer's have been there to support you in any of
Yeah,
those
absolutely.
problems?
What's nice, I mean, Martin and Ed and the cellar, the cellar lads, they've been fantastic. I'm sure I wind them up no end, because if there's any problem, I'll just get on the phone and ask for their advice, and they're always around to help, and they'll always pop down if they're able to. And also anything that I've wanted to do extra, so any extra events I wanted to put on, or music events to put on, they've got so much resources there that I can just have a phone call, have a conversation, and if they can help me reach the goal of what I want to do, they will do that. I've had equipment borrowed from them, all this kind of stuff. So it's been a fantastic situation for me, because I feel like my strengths are the kind of the events and the creative, and getting the buzz and the energy and getting the people in the pub again. And sometimes I have mad ideas and want to do some mad stuff, and it's never a kind of no with them. It's okay, how can we help, or how can they support me? So it is really nice to feel like I've got a literal partner in this business.
What would you have done differently at the start, and why?
Good question. I think hindsight is it's a powerful thing. My honest answer to that is that there's lots that go into making a pub successful. My focus was, because the pub was shut for a while, and it had been quiet, it had been dormant. I wanted to inject life into it, and I put a lot of effort of getting people through the door, putting on fantastic musicians, bands, getting great food going, getting a fantastic team, being really proactive with quiz nights, with chess nights, with open mics, doing loads and loads of things, which was brilliant. And the pub was really busy, and now it's one of the most popular pubs in town and everyone loves it. Great. What I didn't put so much attention into is the boring stuff in the background. Just being super organised, and making sure that you are really keeping a track of everything, and you've got back office processes that you do regularly, which just keeps you on track and keeping an eye on things, is really helpful.
How did you find out about the ship? What attracted you to the ship and Lyme?
So my journey was, I knew that I wanted to get involved in a pub, and I wanted to run my own business. It became clear that I would have to do that with a brewery. So my journey was, okay, I wasn't too bothered about where I ended up in the country, as long as the pub was the right pub for me and it was going to be able to give me the life that I wanted and have the business that I wanted. So I started the journey of, like, okay, what breweries are out there and who can I get a pub from? And that was a very interesting process, because the amount of people which you would just reach out to, and they would call me back and say, oh, you can have the keys and go in on Friday, and you're like, whoa, okay, hold on. Really, just people wanted to chuck keys at you and just get you in the door and start taking your money effectively. And as I was going through this process and I was doing research, it became clear that Palmer's had a very good reputation with, they've won awards with how they work with their tenants. So that was really interesting. So then I found Palmer's first, went on their website, saw what pubs were available. Very easily you can see what pubs are available. So reached out to Jim at the brewery, who was actually from my neck of the woods in London. So we had some connection there, and just basically started the conversation. After a Zoom call, we came down to the brewery to have a meeting and visit and just have a tour, just for them to show us what they're all about, sort of thing, which was fantastic. And as part of that day, we had a tour of their pubs in the area, and one of which was the Ship.
Okay. So was it the only the available pubs that you
No, we
around,
just went. So we just went to a few. We went to the Anchor. We went to a few different pubs in the area just to get a flavour of what Palmer's pubs are.
Yeah.
And I remember walking in here and I thought, this is the place that I want. Now there was someone here at the time, but the reason I wanted it was the right location for me. Coming from being a London boy, coming to the countryside, I didn't want to be out in the middle of nowhere. I wanted to be in a vibrant area, and Lyme Regis is definitely that. As far as location for the pub in Lyme, it's not on the front, because I wanted to have a proper pub. I didn't want to have a kind of really food driven pub. I wanted it to be a kind of a boozer type pub, because that's my character, that's what fits. And it was exactly that, with the scope to do some really good food as well. Had the Skittle Alley, which was really interesting, and I just felt it was the right size for me to get my teeth into, right location. I thought this is absolutely perfect. Then that went on the back burner for a bit, and then a few years later, I think it was a year and a half later, I was really ready to make the move at that point. I looked on the Palmer's website and there was one pub available, and it was the Ship.
Wow.
Some things are meant to be.
Absolutely,
exactly.
Yeah.
And then I made a phone call that I texted Jim that afternoon, said it's been a while, and a month later I was here.
Wow.
A month later, so that
exciting.
That was February, the beginning of February, and by we moved in on the 1st of April, so a month and 2 weeks.
Never looked back.
A month and a week, never looked back.
Amazing.
So it was really easy. It was a really good process. I mean, it was spread out over a few years, but it was a really good process. But it happened organically. Just wanted a pub, discovered Palmer's from their reputation, developed a relationship with Jim, and waited for the pub to come along, and it just happened. And
that's great. And how did Palmer's help you in that process?
So there's a hell of a lot that goes into it, and there are lots of things to remember, or lots of things that you might not be aware of that you even need to do. And Tom and Jim at the brewery were always there to point me in the right direction. and to tell me what was going on. So you need to make sure that you've got, you know, the right amount of money to come into this. You need to have investment straight off the bat. So wherever that is, if you're looking to get funding or anything like that, there are so many options out there. Or you know, use your own savings or things like that. But there's lots of options out there to use. And again, the guys helped point in the right direction for me. Everything that comes in the pubs, the inventory and all this kind of thing, that's all there. You discuss through them. Basically, you're never going to be in the situation where on day one you're missing key things. Okay, the guys they want to make you succeed as much as you want to. So any questions and queries I had, I could fire at them. Anything I was unsure about, I could fire at them. Things that I didn't realise I needed, they told me about. You know, they are the guys at the brewery. This is my business, okay, and I'm lucky to have one of their fantastic pubs. But they are truly partners in this journey.
Yeah.
They want you to succeed. So if I succeed, they succeed. Okay, they don't want an empty pub. They want a vibrant, busy pub.
Of course.
You know, and they'll do everything they can to make that happen. And that is true. And I've had great support from them. And yeah, especially starting off, it can seem like a really daunting prospect, because if you haven't done this before, there are a lot of things like, what about this? And you can stress yourself out about it. You don't need to do that. You're in safe hands. They've got your back. And as long as you've got the work ethic and the motivation to do something, you can create a special pub and a special business for yourself.
Is there anything that you think Palmer's could have improved on?
I think for me, they've given me everything possible to make this pub a success. The only thing that would be nice is I think it'd be nicer, especially with us in Lyme, if we had a bit more. We were kind of forced maybe to have a little bit more interaction with the other pubs. I'd love to do more with the other Palmer's pubs in Lyme, you know, and even if it was, we did a day where the three pubs and there was some kind of crawl or there was some kind of thing between, you know, the Cobb, the Standard and the pilot boat in here. You know, if we did some kind of, because it's a lovely walk, you start at the Cobb and you go down the three and finish here. I think for us in Lyme, having 4 pubs, I think it'd be nice if there was an initiative for us to do a Palmer's Day in Lyme or whatever, and we could do some events, have some music, and the 4 pubs could get involved, and we could do something together, just to show that that we're united, that we're all working together, and also it would be good publicity for us all across the board. That's the only thing I think would be a nice
bit of collaboration.
Bit of collaboration, and it's a difficult one because everyone's busy. I know for myself, you know, there are only so many hours in the day. But you know, for one day in the summer to plan and publicise a Palmer's Pubs of Lyme Day, and we all do different things. You know, it's an excuse to get people out and about, and it's an excuse to shout about how great the pubs are in Lyme. All of them have got brilliant. Each got their own niche and do their own thing, and why not celebrate that?